Hi, this is Boleij from Synechron, visiting the RiskAmericas 2023 conference in New York. We are having here quite interesting and energizing discussions around ESG and sustainability. And if you stay tuned, I will explain you a little bit more about this topic, and I will also explain you what Synechron can offer you in this regard. ESG is known for environmental and social governance, that is the abbreviation. Is there a common standard or a common definition? No, not that I am aware of at least. But I think that a lot of ESG sustainability professionals would agree with me if I would say ESG in the financial sector is about the positive and negative impact, potential impact, material impact that financial institutions can have on the world outside, on society, especially on the environment, on people, but also the other way around. So it's also about impacts that society can have on companies, on financial institutions, material impacts. I think that is more or less a definition that a lot of people agree with. The reason is that if businesses do not take into account this type of impact, this type of ESG impacts, that they will become a risk for themselves, but also a risk for the world outside. So what is needed here is that businesses start to change their operations, their strategy and their products. And the good news is I think that a lot of businesses are already doing that, and we see it also in the financial sector. Businesses are changing, there is new products, green products coming up, and I think that's good news. That everyone agrees, and you can also feel it here on the conference, is that climate change is by far the biggest challenge, and I think it consists of two things. What companies need to do, and financial companies as well, is to calculate their carbon footprint, which is an enormous, large and difficult job to do that, because you need a methodology, you need data, and both are not ready and available. So you have to do a lot of assessments. And if you have calculated your negative footprint, your climate footprint, it is expected that you will reduce that footprint towards zero, which is the Paris Agreement 2050. And that is a very big challenge as well, because reducing your carbon footprint without impacting your future profits or your performances in your investment products, I think that is the biggest challenge. It is doable, and we see examples enough here as well on the conference as well, but it is a challenge. Regulation, the second part of your question, I think you can also say that is a challenge, but that holds more for Europe, if you ask me, than for the US. In Europe we have a lot of regulation, and that is the place where I normally work. And that is absolutely a challenge for businesses to implement all these regulations, also from data and a systems perspective. Here in the US, I don't know how much regulation there is already. It's way lower than in Europe. And what the future will bring here, I don't know. I think there is a lot that is coming up, but I cannot predict that. I don't know. Technology can absolutely solve those challenges that we discussed. However, it is important, I think, to say that technology itself is not a solution. Technology can help you to reach a solution, to develop a solution, or to implement a solution, but it's something else than the solution itself. And I think what we show within Synechron and what we discussed here today as well in this conference is that there is a lot of examples already available, and then we talk about all kind of innovative techniques that you can use, like machine learning, natural language processing, or artificial intelligence. You can use that in all your solutions for financial institutions. There is one good example that is a large international bank with an enormous amount of corporate clients. And the idea of the bank was that they would like to have a good assessment, an ESG assessment on all these specific clients. But the biggest challenge was that this bank did have a lot of information sources available from around 20 different data vendors. So there was a lot of information coming in on all these clients, and it was not easy to manage that information anymore. What we try to build for them and what we built for them is a platform, a technical platform, a tool, very handy and easy to operate with, where you can easily do all kind of assessments on your clients. And I think a very important feature of that platform is as well that you can see the supply chain of the clients. So you can not only see the ESG performance and the risks of your client, but also the performance and the risk of the suppliers and the customers of your clients. It's quite a handy tool. Another example is maybe a stock exchange that had the ambition to bring together two very different parties, being very large institutional investors, lenders, and on the other hand, an enormous amount of small and medium enterprises with green projects for which they need some finance, so borrowers, lenders and borrowers from a very different size, so there is a mismatch. And the exchange wants to be in the middle and wants to bring these parties together so that the investors can put their money in all these small projects. What the client, the exchange, asked us is to come up with a design to assess all these different small and medium enterprises. And we created that tool that can help them to approach all these enterprises and to get all the information in such a way that they can easily select the most eligible companies for these green loans. It's also quite a handy tool with a lot of technology behind it and very handy in their daily work. Thank you for watching, and please contact us if you would like to have more information on how Synechron can help you with your ESG and sustainability challenges in the financial sector.